Welcome back to the Royals Review podcast. As you can already tell from my voice, we're here to talk about a huge win for the Royals, a 2-1 victory over Bradford City at the Select Car Leasing Stadium on Saturday. I'm Dan Worth, joined as ever by Jimmy. Jimmy, everything good with you? I'm assuming pretty happy with the result of the weekend.
All good. Yep. Yeah. In a very good mood after what was a really entertaining win. I think it's actually one of my favourite matches I've been to this season. Yeah, it was good fun.
Oh, I mean, that's quite a high bar considering we have won quite a few games, particularly at home. So, I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It feels quite good for there to be goals scored after the 90th minute and them to be in our favour rather than the other way around.
Yep.
But I think after the week we had prior to that, like we kind of deserved this win, or at least it felt like it was our turn. But talk to me about the game then, Jim, because obviously went behind as
Yep.
opposed to the previous two games where we went ahead. And
hmm
then, roles were almost completely reversed, right? Went behind and then came back, scored two late goals to get the 3 points.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I thought we were solid. To be fair, I thought we played pretty well overall. Even without the dramatic finish, I thought the performance was actually good. Which is such a strange thing to say because we were in a position where we weren't actually going to pick up any points, and I was there sitting there like we've actually played so much better than these last few matches when we have picked up points. So yeah, I mean, I guess the best sort of way to describe it is, I guess we were more convincing. Before the goal, we were definitely in the game as much as Bradford were. I guess it was always going to be a more defensive orientated match with Jack Marriott out, and I think Young picked up an injury in the warm up. But I thought defensively we were fantastic. Ben Ward, by far the best player on the pitch in my eyes, definitely the man of the match. He was unstoppable in his 1v1s. Whoever he came up against, he dealt with them really easily, and he was just solid overall. And the same goes for Pordy and Derek Williams as well. They were both solid. Randall and Nyambi on the wings, there for the lot. And yeah, they were just up and down all match. Yeah, I mean, we had our fair few chances going forward. Not as many as Bradford, but we did get decent chances, but we just didn't put them away. And then yeah, Bradford got their chance, stuck it in the top corner. Richie and Lane, fantastic. Oh my god, fantastic impact subs off the bench. So yeah, hats off to Richardson and both of them, because I know all three of them have been subject to a fair few sort of negative comments online recently, all of which I think are valid reasons. Paddy Lane and Richie haven't been performing as well as people had hoped, and hadn't had the impact given their experience in this league and just throughout their career. So it's good. I'm super happy for them. Lane, it must have been on the pitch for about a minute before he stuck in the equaliser. Um, and then yeah, obviously Richie popping up with a fantastic winner in the dying seconds. So yeah, all in all, that's a really good win, and I actually think that is going to be, if we get to the playoffs, that will be one of the performances we look back on and think that was a huge 3 points. Given we were down with 2-3 minutes to go and we managed to turn it around. So yeah, all in all, really happy, great match. Glad that Richie and Lane got on the score sheet. Hopefully they can sort of kick on a bit more and find that form that they've had throughout their career, and Paddy in this league especially.
Yeah, mate, I couldn't agree more. You actually mentioned quite a few things that I want to dive in a little bit deeper on, but we'll do that. The first
Yeah,
thing that I want to say is go back to your comments on Ben Ward. Yeah, I think he's been unreal since he's joined the Royals. I can't actually really believe that he spent the first half of the season in League Two. I'm really surprised that no one took a chance on him, unless there was a reason that I've missed. He
yeah,
looks way above that level. So, I mean, very happy that we finally got him.
yeah.
He won 8 aerial duels, which I think was the most of any player on the pitch. Yeah, correct. And he won 100% of his tackles. So, yeah, you're right. The guy he was marking, I think, was it Nerfville or Sarcevic?
Both of them. He had a lot. You know, there were a couple of players on him at the majority of the time. Yeah, he had a lot to deal with, but he was solid.
And he managed it. So yeah, fair play to Ben Ward. Looks really, really good introduction to this team. And I think it strengthens that whole back line. And I think, to be fair, that the four that started is probably our strongest four, I would say.
Yeah, well, it was kind of. I think it was more of it was a back three from what I could see with Nyambi and Randall Williams as wing backs. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was always going to be very sort of defensively set up, given our attacking options were limited. And I thought they defended really well. So yeah, a solid performance from all five of those players.
Yeah,
and Joel,
I agree more. Yeah, couldn't agree more. I mean, in particular, Pordy is just so good in the air. He won 100% of his duels, aerial duels again this time out. I think I looked it up earlier, and I think he's like second for aerial duel success rate. He's won 75% of his aerial duels this season, and like that's just so important in this league, I think. And we've just seen again against Bradford how strong in the area is, and I mean just how good he is. I think we're going to talk about criticism a lot because I've been critical of this team and of Liam Richardson. And I think one of the players who's undeservedly been getting criticised this season is Pordy. I think he's so good, particularly in the air, but he's got experience in this league. And yeah, he's not the quickest. That's fine. Yeah, he's probably not the best player in the world with the ball at his feet, but I think he's come in, he's been dependable. I don't think any comments really that are negative towards Pordy are justified. Mm-hmm. But I mean, let's stick there because look, I've been quite critical of Liam Richardson and some of the substitutions he's made recently. But on Saturday, the substitutions that he did make have changed the game, and they've been very positive. They've scored the 2 goals that we needed to get all 3 points. So I think at this point, I have to take my hat off to Liam Richardson because it worked. And with Richie and Lane, again, 2 players that I've, kind of suggested shouldn't really be in the starting 11. I mean, I don't know if the performance against Bradford kind of proves my point that they're probably better coming on. But yeah, can't knock them. I know both of them had sort of retaliation celebrations. I kind of love that, to be honest. Like, you should be able to give it. You should be able to take it. So it's like after all of everything that people have been saying about Paddy Lane, again, look, I'm coming from the point of view that I think justified. He hasn't hit the ground running like everyone thought he was, and he's been performing under expectation, I'd say. But then when he goes on and does that, mate, you can celebrate how you want. Like I'm buzzing, and what a great finish it was too. Same with Richie. Again, I've been disappointed so far this season, but they've both proved that they do have what it takes at this level, and maybe it's just been a little bit of a teething period joining Reading, and hopefully now they can kick on in the last 12 or 13 games and prove just how good they are. And yeah, I mean, Reading have a huge chance now, right, of making the playoffs, and they need players like your Paddy Lanes, like your Matt Ritchies to step up, particularly now in what we're going to talk about in the absence of Jack Marriott. So yeah, brilliant that we've seen that already. Long may that continue throughout this season, and hopefully, they kind of pick this team up and push them towards the playoffs. But let's talk about that then. Obviously, Jack Marriott news kind of broke Friday night, I think, that he might be out for the season. I think Richardson's comments since then have been for a period of time. I mean, there's not that much time left this season, but obviously if we can get him back at any point, I think it would be a massive boost. But aside from the kind of severity of the injury, Reading forced to start with Kelvin Bashman up top for the first time in what feels like a long time.
Yeah.
What did you make of Kelvin's performance? Do you think he did a solid job?
He worked hard, but he obviously just doesn't have the quality that Jack Marriott has, and that showed really. He didn't really have a good chance. He had one chance which he put sort of quite wide of the post from what I saw. But yeah, I feel like Marriott just makes himself chances. Kelvin doesn't do that as much. Even you'd sort of see him as a target man given his height and build. I felt like he did struggle to even sort of win balls and take balls down and bring other players into play from that. So yeah, I think for him it was a frustrating game, but still, Marriott's going to be out for a while. This is his chance to step up and show that he's got what it takes to play at this level. I think we said at the beginning of the season that this is a huge season for him, and I don't know. Part of me thinks that he'd probably be quite disappointed with how it's gone so far. You'd sort of expect him to be, a regular starter in this starting 11, but he's just not really pushed on to what people would have expected. So yeah, huge opportunity for him over the next few weeks. We obviously saw Sean Patton get introduced as well, sort of 3/4 of the way through the game, maybe a bit less, 75th minute, I think they came on. So he was playing up top alongside Kelvin, and I don't know if it's just because there was another striker on the pitch, but it just felt like we had a lot more going on up by the Bradford goal all of a sudden. Patton was winning flicks on for Kelvin. They seemed like there was some link up there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Richardson opts to play two strikers up top in any of the coming up games. But yeah, I think all in all, it was a disappointing performance from Kelvin. Yeah, hopefully he can kick on a little bit more.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to write Kelvin off because, I mean, at the start of the season when there was the whole hoo-ha around whether he's going to sign a contract or not, like, pretty sure both of us, I mean, definitely me, was really excited for him to sign the contract and really wanted him to, and have been very confident for a while that he can do it at this level.
Yeah.
I just feel like, I mean, we're probably just not playing the right style of football to suit Kelvin Ihibashman, and I have no doubt that there is a player there. It's just, it feels like it's not really working, and I probably would like to see Patton start if we're going to play that formation. If we're not, and what you said is also true, that they can link up together, then great. That might actually help Kelvin out a bit. But yeah, Sean Patton looks like he's had a great time away at Aldershot. I think he scored 5 goals in 6 games in his loan period there. So the bloke's full of confidence. He's got all the right pedigree, and by that I mean he's Irish, and we've got quite a lot of success with Irish strikers. So if he can be anything like Shane Long or Kevin Doyle, then yeah, should be all right, shouldn't it? So it is obviously devastating to lose Jack Marriott, given that he's scored so many goals for us and has been like vital, really. But I don't think it's worth getting too down about, because as we've shown, we've still scored 2 goals against one of the league's best teams, and we have plenty of individual talent there. So I don't think we should get too caught up on that. Although I would like him back before the playoffs if we are gonna go all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you said a little bit earlier, it's a perfect opportunity, and it's time that some of the other players step up. And how many times have we mentioned this season how over dependent we are on certain players?
Yeah,
I feel like the first half of the season, that was Lewis Wing. The second half of the season so far, it's been Jack Marriott. And yeah, we've got players that are more than capable of scoring goals at this level.
Yeah.
And with Marriott out, it's crying out for someone or numerous players to step up and show their worth.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's crazy that we're going to actually have a game where we don't chat really about Lewis Wing. I'm probably going to avoid chatting about Charlie Savage, although a lovely ball in for the winner. I think those two just kind of played well. They just did what we expect from them. But instead, I want to talk about just the general league position. 1 point off Huddersfield now, who are in 6th. We're in 7th. We have a game in hand on Huddersfield and Bolton. Stevenage are on the same point as us, actually, with 2 games in hand. It's 5 now unbeaten, I believe. Yeah, win, draw, win. It's kind of crazy that after I was so down last week that I'm not today. But I think beating Bradford means we're back in with a shout. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's a hard one. I still think that Port Vale result is just such a kick in the teeth. Like, we'd be in the playoffs right now if that went the way that everyone wanted it to. But we can't sort of, dwindle on that for too long. And this was a fantastic result to sort of, I guess I'm not the only issue is that we've lost Marriott, and he's such a goal threat.
Yeah.
Are we going to have enough? We're now relying on people to step up and perform a lot better than they have done throughout the whole season. So yeah, it really is. It really is crunch time now. This really is the business end of the season for Reading. And yeah, I mean, we've got the momentum. We're unbeaten in 5, which shows if anything, we're a hard team to beat.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we can go and draw our away games, win our home games, as they say, we should be in a pretty good spot come the end of the season. But I'm still unsure if we'll get there in the end, to be honest. Yeah, it's really hard to sort of see. I think because of how close other teams are as well.
Yeah. It's crazy close, isn't it? Between
Massively
14th.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, if we've got Luton up next, right? That's another huge game. Mostly down to the fact that they're 4 points behind us. Obviously, if they win, that's another team that are well in the running for nicking that final spot, if that's what it's going to be. It's got to be full steam ahead from Reading from now on. Hopefully, we can get Marriott back. I know a lot of people were saying that he's out for the season, but I thought that I read that he would be out for the coming weeks. So
yeah,
I'm not sure if that meant the whole season or if that literally is just a few weeks. Fingers crossed it is. But yeah, to answer the question, I still think we'll fall just short of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but we obviously got to have this chat just for podcast sake. But it's quite interesting, actually, when you look around the table at the recent form. So obviously, bar the top 3, Reading look like they've got the best form in the last 6 games.
Yeah,
unbeaten in 5, as I mentioned, is the 3rd longest unbeaten streak in the league, behind Lincoln and Bolton, who are on ridiculous streaks, obviously. But yeah, if you take out that top 3, all of the other teams above and just below us have much worse form than us. And you look at Luton, for example, last 4 games, lost, draw. They're not coming into our game on Saturday, full of beans and confidence. Whereas you'd like to think that late winner means that, the boys will be buzzing at Bearwood and go into this game full of confidence that they can go and get 3 points. But I wanted to talk about something you said about being hard to beat. I think that's literally the best thing that Richardson's done since he's come in. He definitely has made Reading more resilient and much harder to beat. I feel like defensively, even in the games that we've let in goals, as in like the 2 games where we threw away the win and goals we've conceded before, a lot of them are either unavoidable goals, i.e. deflections, or just silly things that have happened, or just individual errors, which are bound to happen at this level and bound to happen at any level, to be honest. So I do think defensively we can be quite confident throughout the rest of the season, because I think we look strong. I hope I haven't jinxed that now and Luton will go and put 6 behind us. But we'll see. I guess before we go then, I need to get your Luton prediction, because this will be the last time we speak.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a win for Reading. I just think that, given all of the poor results, which aren't actually poor results, i.e. the ones against, well, I guess the one against Port Vale is, but the one against Bolton, getting a win away at Luton will be massive. And obviously, like I just said, in terms of their league position as well, puts a little bit of space between us and them. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win. I don't think we'll concede after that last game. I thought they looked solid. Obviously, the Bradford goal was, I think it was one of their centre backs that scored, and it was a pretty
banger.
It was a banger. I don't think he's going to be scoring those week in, week out. But yeah, I'm pretty confident in our defence at the moment. And yeah, I'm just hoping that someone can step up and get that goal that we need.
Yeah, nice. I actually think Reading are going to win as well. I'm going to go for 2-1 though.
Yep.
Feels like the score that happens all the time after all of the games I watched yesterday.
Mhm.
And also Reading. Looking at the reverse fixture, Reading won 3-2 at the Select Car Leasing Stadium in the middle of December. Goals from Lewis
Yep.
Wing, Marriott, and Kelvin E. Habashiman. So hopefully Kelvin can get himself back on the score sheet and we can get a really important away win. But yeah, as I said, Luton aren't coming into this off the back of a good run of form. They
Nope.
also have to play again before they play us. They're in the Johnson's Paint Trophy against Northampton, which we obviously don't. So we benefit from a few extra days rest.
Yep.
And yeah, their last game they drew 1-1 away at Port Vale, so that seems pretty familiar. So yeah, hopefully Reading can go and do it. Both of us backing a win, feeling very positive it seems. So long may that continue, and hopefully it's an away win for the Royals. Thanks very much for joining me, Jim. I'll speak to you after that Luton game, I'm sure. But until then, thanks everyone for listening and watching. Enjoy the football and have a great day out in Luton. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.